Do you love a steaming bowl of gumbo on a chilly winter's day? I sure do. But who has time to stand there and make that roux? I've got a way for you to make gumbo as an easy weeknight meal, guaranteed. How am I going to do it? Watch. Hey everybody, and welcome to Cooking It Real. I'm Kathy, and I'm so glad you could join me today in the kitchen. Now, you heard me right. I said that you can make gumbo as an easy weeknight meal. That sounds impossible, doesn't it? Probably the most time-consuming thing about making a traditional gumbo is making the roux. I mean, you have to put oil and flour together and stand there and stir it and stir it and stir it, and it can take what seems like forever. Well, I've got a way to take all of the guesswork out of making a roux and all of the standing and stirring, and you're not going to believe it. All you have to do is take 1 cup of all-purpose flour and put it in an oven-safe pan. Now, it doesn't have to be a frying pan. It could be a casserole dish, a baking pan, a cake pan, anything that can take the oven heat. Now, if you do use a frying pan, make sure it's one with a metal handle that can take 425-degree heat. So once you put the flour in the pan, you want it to be about a 1/2 inch thick. Put it in your preheated 425-degree oven for 45 to 55 minutes. That's all you got to do. Awesome. Today I'm making a chicken and sausage gumbo. And the first thing I'm going to do is I have 3 bone-in chicken thighs right here, and I'm just going to sprinkle them with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of onion powder. This is just like my basic chicken seasoning, and garlic powder. And I don't really use the powder, I use the granulated. Now let's turn these over and we will season the other side. You can use boneless, skinless if you want. You can use drumsticks. You can use breasts. You can use whatever kind of chicken you like. I got a heavy Dutch oven here, and we're going to make our gumbo in this container. I've got my burner on medium high. I'm going to put just a little drizzle of olive oil in there, and then I'm going to put my chicken thighs skin side down. You want to preheat your Dutch oven just a little bit so that when you put your chicken in, you can hear the sizzle. There we go. That's going good. All right. I'm going to let that go for just a little bit, get a little color. We're not trying to cook it all the way through. The chicken is going. Let's cut up our vegetables. Now what I have here is some yellow onion, some green bell pepper, and some celery. And in Louisiana cooking or Cajun cooking, this is called the Trinity. Okay, 3 Trinity, and it's very classic. So I flipped my chicken and I turned it down to low. And I'm about to turn it off. What I wanted to do was just get a little bit of color and render a little bit of that skin, so we'll have some good tasting chicken fat in the bottom of the pot. Now, I've been making gumbo for years. I make chicken and sausage gumbo. I make seafood gumbo. I made just plain sausage gumbo. You know, there's all kinds of ways to make gumbo. And I have made plenty of roux in my day, or roux, or whatever you would say. I've stood there and I've, lovingly stirred and stirred my roux and watched it go from a blonde roux to a tan-colored roux to a peanut butter roux to a chocolate roux. And, I have not hated that process. If you're the kind of person who enjoys working in the kitchen, that kind of thing can be very meditative and very fun. But sometimes you just want to get something and you just want to get it kind of now. And you might say, well, Kathy, if this roux is going to be in the oven for 45 minutes, I mean, that's sort of like standing there making a roux, right? No, no, it isn't at all. And I'll tell you why. Because you don't have to stand there. I mean, you can't really turn your back on a roux. This is such an easy way. Wait until you see. All right, so let's get our vegetables finished up. And you can be doing things like, you know, cooking your chicken a little bit and getting everything chopped up while your roux is making itself, basically, in the oven. Now I've got 6 cloves of garlic here that I'm going to be adding to my gumbo. And, you know, like I always say, you do you. If you're not a big fan of garlic, leave it out. If you want your gumbo to be traditional, the only thing you have to have is the Trinity: the onion, the green bell pepper, and the celery. You want to use a red bell pepper, go right ahead, but it won't be traditional. But who cares? So long as it tastes good, right? That is the name of the game. All right, my chicken has been turned off, and now I'm just gonna take them out and put them on a clean plate. And we're just gonna leave behind the yum yums on the plate, in the pan. Let's have a good close look at that. Ooh, can you see that? Ooh, yum yum yum. That's the flavor. All right, so I'm done chopping all my veggies. So I've switched out my wooden veggie board for my plastic meat board, and now I'm going to cut the sausage. I just bought this is a Cajun style andouille smoked sausage from Hillshire Farm at the grocery store. I think it was on sale. I think it cost me about $5.49 or $5.79, something like that. But you can use any kind of sausage you like. You can get true andouille that is made in Louisiana. You can use like smoked sausage. You can use kielbasa. Whatever you like. I don't know if I'd use breakfast sausage, but if that's all you have and you want to try it, why not? All right, so we're just gonna open this guy up and we're gonna cut him up. Now, how you cut him up is absolutely a matter of personal preference. A lot of people like to have big, like chunks, like that in their gumbo. To me, that's just a little too big. What I like to have is something that's gonna fit on your spoon size. Okay, so if I had a chunk like that, I would cut it like this, and then cut it like this, and I might even make it a little bit smaller. Now, my husband, he likes bigger chunks, so I think I'm gonna do like a half and half. Okay, half larger, half chunks like this, and then some nice spoon size chunks. Now you can also just cut them into rounds, you know, like so. Okay, it's completely up to you. And I like to just go wee down the middle, and then chop, chop, chop. Okay, so 30 minutes has passed. I pulled the flour out of the oven, and look at this. Whoop, making a mess. Come back. Come back. This is looking very good. As you can see, there's still some white flour in the middle. So the edges kind of cook a little bit faster because they're a little bit thinner. So let's kind of break this up a little bit, and we'll mix it up and get it back in the oven. So that was for 30 minutes. Now I would call this a tan roux, okay? What I usually like to do is get it to the peanut butter stage. And so it's the color of peanut butter. And I think this needs another couple of minutes for sure. I'm gonna put it on for 10 more minutes. That would be 40. And we'll check it again. Now, one of the advantages is to using this dry roux is you don't have all the oil. Now, you're supposed to use equal amounts of flour and fat. Some people use butter. Some people use oil. Some people use like chicken fat, schmaltz, all kinds of different things. But when you do it this way, for 1 cup of flour, you have eliminated 1 whole cup of oil. And that's a lot of oil. All right, back in the oven for 10 more minutes. We're gonna really keep an eye on you now because we don't want you to go over. All right. I've turned my heat back on, the Dutch oven, and now we're going to add our vegetables. We're going to add the onions, the celery, and the green pepper, also known as the Trinity. Now I know there are some Cajuns that would never add garlic because it's just not part of the deal. But I would, so there you go. So we're going to save that garlic for just a minute. No, let's just put it all in. So we're just going to saute this just for a couple of minutes, let it get some color. Stir it around at the bottom. Get some of those yummy bits up. And now you could add some Cajun seasoning. I don't have Cajun seasoning, so I made my own. What I have here is a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, about a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of dried thyme, and 1 teaspoon of celery seed. And I got a couple of bay leaves that I'm gonna put in after just a little bit. So everybody into the pool. Give that a stir. Oh yeah, now it's starting to smell like a gumbo. Now I'm going to add 4 cups or 1 quart of turkey stock that I made the other day. Yes. You could use chicken stock. You could use, if you're making a seafood gumbo, you could use like shrimp stock or fish stock. You could use just plain water. So I'm going to bring this up to a simmer till it gets going. I'm going to add back in my chicken. Then I'm going to add in the bay leaves. We're going to cover it and simmer the chicken for about 15 minutes. Okay, 10 more minutes. We're checking our flour. You see the color has changed a little bit, but not too much. But I'm not seeing any white in there, which is good. I'm going to give it like 5 more minutes. Okay. Now, you know, somebody might say, why do you have to use this flour? Why do you have to toast it? This is where you get that classic flavor. Okay. The darker the roux, the more the flavor. When this is done and it comes out, we're going to immediately put it into a bowl to cool. We don't want to leave it in the pan because it will continue to cook. This is starting to come up to a simmer. So I'm going to throw in the bay leaves. I'm going to put in the chicken thighs. Get them all nestled in there. Come on, baby. Yep. Now, like I said, if you had more mouths to feed, you want to add more chicken, go right on ahead. And use whatever cut of chicken you want. If you're going to be using like chicken breasts, I might cut them. Woo! That one flipped upside down, but that's cool. I might cut them in half or something like that. What we're going to do is after we simmer this chicken, we're going to take it out and we're going to shred it and put it back in. We're going to get it off the bone. Get any juices that accumulated, add them in. That's all flavor. Okay, baby. All right, now let's get a lid on you. I'm going to turn you down to medium low. We're going to set another timer for 15 minutes. Okay, so I added 2 extra minutes to this. So now we're at 48 minutes and I'm calling it. I think this is just perfect. Just what I want. All right, let's get this transferred into a bowl and get it cooling down. Now you can put this onto a cookie sheet or a plate or, you know, just something. Just don't touch that pan because it is hot. There we go. I think I got most of that. Oh, smells so good. Yum. So let's make the brew. All right, so this is 1 cup of flour that has been toasted in the oven at 425 degrees for a total of 48 minutes. So we want to add 2 cups of stock. And this is a 4-cup measure, so I'm going to add about half. You could measure it out if you wanted to get particular. I think that's about half, maybe, yeah, we'll see. And then you want to mix this up and make like a slurry. And this is your roux, baby. And you did not have to stand over a hot stove. Just stirring and stirring and watching it take its sweet time to get brown. Look at that. That is perfection. All right, I want to make this about as smooth as I can. And then we're going to add it to our gumbo. All right, I'm going to let that rest for just a minute. I took my chicken out of the pot and I am going to get it off the bone. I think I'm going to put on a pair of gloves. It's a little bit hot. Skin is coming off. Ooh, this is really hot. And let's see if I can't just manipulate this a little bit. We're going to get it cooling down. Now, if things are moving a little fast for you, what I did is I just turned off my gumbo. So I took out the chicken and I turned off the gumbo. And see, this chicken isn't really it isn't cooked all the way through yet, but that's cool because it's going back in the pot. Now, if you wanted to take the meat off the bone before you put it in the pot, you could do that. But I think that the bones add a lot of flavor. And especially if you don't have some good flavored stock, you want the bones in there to give your gumbo flavor. Okay, let's get all the little bits off. This guy's just about done. Once I get this all shredded up, we are going to go back to the roux and we're going to add it as well as a couple of last minute additions. Okay, my gumbo is on medium. It's starting to come back up to a bit of a simmer. I am just going to stir my roux one more time and I'm going to slowly add it in. Where's my stirrer? Oh, I wish we had smell-o-vision. This smells amazing. All right, everybody in. Here we go, get in there. There you go. I just bought a bag of frozen cut okra. This is not breaded. If you were using fresh okra, you would probably add it. Not probably, you would definitely add it when you sauteed the vegetables, the onion, the trinity at the beginning. Now I'm going to put in this whole bag. I was originally thinking I was just going to do half, but why not? Right? I love okra, especially in gumbo. If you don't like okra, leave it out. Leave it out. Okay, now we're going to add our andouille sausage. Everybody in. And then we're going to put the lid on and simmer it for about 5 minutes. Ooh, it's starting to feel thick already. All right, then we'll add the chicken back. Lid. 5 minutes. Go. Oh, look how thick that is. That is going good. All right, I got to turn this up just a little bit. Oh, look at that. Look how thick and gorgeous. All right, back in with the rest of the chicken that has been taken off the bone. In you go, baby. Oh, yeah. Give that a stir. Gonna simmer that for another 5 or 6 minutes. Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, we'll be back. All right, let's have a final look. Ooh, baby. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a pinch more salt, tiny bit more pepper, and a good tablespoon and a half of white vinegar. Give that a stir. Oh, now it's time to eat. And we're gonna dish it up in the traditional way. We get our soup bowl here. We get a good scoop of white rice that I made in the Instant Pot. And then, right over top. Oh, that's hot. That touched my finger, and that is hot. Get a little bit more juice. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. All right. Let me make one for my Mr. Will. And before we taste, let me invite you to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. It really helps. We're getting more subscribers every day, and I could not be more excited about that. All right, here we go. All right, let me call him in so we can get ready to taste.
Very good.
All right, now the moment of truth. I gave you the big one. Okay. So look at how pretty that looks in the bowl. Let's give it a taste.
Oh, I love it.
It's hot temperature. It's not too spicy.
It's spicy.
Of course, you could always add more cayenne if that's your preferred heat source.
I taste it first. It's at least a medium spicy, right? Like this. And it's very tasty.
It is. It's absolutely delicious. It's going back for seconds already. A little more juice on it. Oh, and now this is, with the dry roux, Will. Now you can't tell any difference between the dry roux and this. I mean, an oil roux, an oil-based, except there's not a big skim of oil on the top.
Did you have any left over?
No, I used it all, but we can make more. And you can make that roux in advance if you want and store it in an airtight container. And then you don't even have to have the 45 minutes to make the roux. You already have it on your pantry shelf. I mean, what could be better than that?
It's very good.
Yes, it is very good.
And it smells fabulous.
I know. You should be here right now.
The house is very aromatic.
It's drool worthy. All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Cooking It Real. Bye, everybody.
Bye.